Now, our next participant is Danielle Hurley, a student at Agnes Scott. She's a poet and clinical mental health counseling student at Agnes Scott College. Her work explores life, love, trauma, and healing, drawing from her own experiences to create space for self reflection and growth. Through her poetry, she encourages readers to seek harmony, live authentically, and embrace their journey towards wholeness. Um, Very welcome, Daniel Hurley. Please take the screen and share your poetry with us.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm going to be reading two poems from my self-published poetry book called Seeking Harmony. And they both are basically about my journey of healing and learning to love and accept myself for who I actually am. So the first one is called Unwanted. I've always wondered what it feels like to be loved, to be wanted so badly by someone that they can't keep me from their thoughts, to be admired while my flaws poke out like a sore thumb, to be cherished for all of eternity. But the thing about eternity is that it's all an illusion. There is no forever because everything must end. One day we will all cease to exist, and the mere mention of my name will hold no weight because those who remembered me will be long gone. And even though I know that eternal love is not something that I should look forward to, I still want it. I desire it as if I were a child wandering through a toy store for the very first time, seeing so many different options, wishing that I could have all of them, but knowing that if I'm lucky, I can only have one. And in all the years of my life, I've still never found that one, or even felt good enough to be that one. I'm just a lost child in a toy store, wandering around looking at all the toys I can't afford, wishing that some miracle would lend me the perfect one, not having to endure for it, but just placing it directly into my hands. But I'm not a child. This isn't a toy store, but I am lost. I'm a vessel that's been searching for its other half, a half that probably doesn't even exist in the form of a partner. This half is probably buried deep within my fibers, buried under neglect, abuse, trauma, and sadness, lost and wandering around a forest, trying desperately to find the burial site and make myself whole again. I've always wondered what it feels like to be loved. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll find the other half of me and cherish her for the rest of eternity. And the next one is called Vision. As I step into the light, I can feel my body struggling to function in this new environment because I've been surrounded by darkness my entire life. As my vision begins to clear, I start to see things that weren't there before. It's like I've been given a brand new set of eyes, a different lens. I know that I should be happy about this, and don't get me wrong, I am. But I start to remember what I'm leaving behind. What if this newfound vision slips away, the same way it does when we grow old? Will I have to go back into the dark place, the cave that I had become so familiar with? I'm afraid to go back, petrified. So let's play things differently this time. I'll walk back towards the cave, but not to enter, to lock the door forever. Behind that door will lie all of my dark thoughts, the suicidal ideations, the torment, the hatred, the feelings of self-doubt. I finally realized that I have control. I'm the gatekeeper. I have the inner workings to create the key to a better life. So behind that door, I'll also lock away the memories of the people who have hurt me. The men who broke my heart, the people who used me, the family that outcasted me, the friends who betrayed me. I'll lock them all together so they can have the time of their lives, sharing stories about how they almost broke me. And outside of that door, I'll be living freely, loving who I am and the opportunities ahead of me. I'll shed my old skin and emerge like a butterfly, first trying out its wings. I'll fly away with my new vision and a brand new light. Thank you.
We will go now to our next participant. Again, a first-time participant, Susan McClellan. She's a poet in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Her work has been published in Knack Magazine, the Atherton Review, the Highland Park Poetry Anthology, and the Trouvaille Review. Susan McClellan on Zoom.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here today. My poem is called What is Peace? Peace feels like a whisper in a room too loud. Tough days, tough times. Peace is not gone. Peace is the neighbor sharing bread, the student planting trees, the parent teaching a child how to listen with patience. Peace is small, like a seed that grows. Seeds break through concrete, reach for the sun, and bloom. Maybe peace is possible, not in a perfect sense. It can mean without conflict. It is possible to choose peace when it feels impossible, to water it with kindness, to light it with your heart, to guard it with the fragile earth we call home. Peace is not a whisper, nor a chorus. Peace is a fire. Peace is a rising tide. Peace is work, hard work, daily work, empathy, compromise, justice, caring. Peace is more than words. Peace is doing the work. It does not simply arrive. It is something we must practice, must nurture, and must protect. Peace is not handed down. It is something we create. It is something in the choices we make. Peace is within us. Thank you.
Let's move on to our next poet. It's Lexi Markham, again via Zoom. Biography tells us that she's a 16-year-old poet from Atlanta. She works as an editor and contributor to Vox ATL, Atlanta, that is, a local newspaper written and run by teens. She has served for 2 years as an ambassador for the Atlanta Youth Poet Laureate program and uses that platform to amplify teen voices, advocate for social justice, and raise awareness for mental health through poetry. Please, Lexi, take the screen and make your presentation.
I'm just going to do a little note before I read this. As depression and suicide statistics increase among youth, often teens are left feeling as though nothing will ever change. However, the very nature of growing up is in and of itself an evolution. This poem contains themes of recovery, discussion of self-harm and suicide, mental health challenges, which may be distressing or triggering. I encourage you to prioritize your well-being and step away briefly if needed. If life is a woman, then death is a teenage girl. Tearing desperately into the earth to lie in a soft coffin of her own choice, her nail beds blossom, blotches bloom across her body, her flesh whispers to the bugs in the ground, make me a home somewhere. If life is a woman, then death is a teenage girl. Burying her innocence under her skin, then clawing at her own body to excavate relief, to release, to gain control over something, even if it's just the ways she bleeds. If life is a woman, then death is a teenage girl who stands with a rattling of prescription meds in an empty stomach, with the teeth mark of the bathroom floor still gripping her soft skin. Forgive me if this is the only way I know how to pray. If life is a woman, then death is a teenage, warping reflection of pill bottles and words that morph faces into other shapes, mind so decayed that she can only see the endings in her body, a manual for how to commit suicide. Draw 1,000 periods and let the darkness swallow you whole. If death is a girl, then life is a woman. her body a house of prayer composed of yesterdays folded inside of todays, folded inside of tomorrow. Some night she looks in the mirror, carefully brushing on the eyeshadow of her past, to wear this war, these tiny explosions of glittering faith. If death is a teenage girl, then life is a woman. Her mind a catalogue of verses, scriptures penned in breath. She doesn't cover her scars, just let them blend in with the flesh of every other yesterday. If death is a teenage girl, then life is a woman, who lets the hours linger a little longer in her mouth and paints the sky across her face, who puts her hand on her heart just to feel the cannon fire of her pulse and the warmth blossoming across her chest. If death is a teenage girl, then life can be an altar made of flesh and blood, a mother of cells who wipes her adolescent fingernails clean, picks herself up, and carries herself into the rest of her tomorrows.
So our poetry reading will conclude with the reading by Elizabeth Robin, who's a retired teacher and award-winning poet. She has 3 books of poetry published by Finishing Line Press, To My Dreamcatcher 2022, Where Green Meets Blue 2018, and Silk Purses and Lemonade 2017. Again, the full biography can be accessed through the link on Zoom in the chat box there. So Elizabeth Robin, please take the screen and present your poems.
Thank you so much. Wow, this is a lot to follow. First and foremost, to the late Michael Rothenberg and to Terry Carrion, bless you for conceiving this group. And praise to the many amazing poets here who voice their conscience and bear witness. I bring 2 poems today. The first an issue everywhere, but now in the spotlight in South Carolina where I live. And the second, just because it seems a good close for this particular event. Breaking kneecaps. I banged my knee in San Miguel, fell, and it works differently now, like falling so hard for a new man you can't get up again, even when limping away is the only sane choice. Like that man years ago who couldn't hear no, 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 or told me I didn't mean it, but I did. Even in my sleep, he didn't care. And the limp away then, a treacherous escape. Harried today with roller coaster battles for books on shelves, I wonder, is everything so back and forth? Exiting what's unhealthy, more surgical procedure than freewheeling walk away. The little girl in me searches for a scalpel. But every book by a girl, about a girl, for a girl, can't find shelf space, almost like that dog in Myth. Remember her? Who chases that what turns out to be the shadow of a bone forever? As if girls eye all their prizes through the wrong lenses, as if girls don't get to hear the warnings, as if girls ask for, want, deserve empty lives, as if girls are useful but not human. Wrinkled, white-haired, Buddha-bellied women, although wonky-kneed and wobbly, won't run away. We'll speak until, even here, even now, our little girls can climb off their shelves and tell all their stories. Art lesson. I stare at a series of arches that are Fort Pulaski, defunct and barely used remnant of war's civil and not. One corner of burned out floorboards bears a foundation, shows the arch continues, forms a full circle underground. A circle is stronger than a square, says the engineer. A straight beam deflects. I know square doorways well, deflection formulas that push away, that displace to an angle or a distance. Know the range, the safe maximum. Romans found strength in semicircles, a design that distributes compression and so reduces tension. Their aqueducts stand even now. Tricky in progress, workers add scaffolding, support until sides meet in the middle. There's no integrity otherwise, he says. Curve too much, tension builds. Circles last, I think. The forts we build, as obsolete in an instant as war, bear a lesson in architectural remains on Cockspur Island. Fortify in brick, and walls crumble. If useful, only a handful of years, and then only to house prisoners, we lose. We grow, we last, we thrive as circles, not squares. Arts and peoples, hands clasped, looking to each other. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Really, again, very grateful for your presence and the poem that you read. And before I thank everyone who's here and who's on Zoom, I have this temptation of sharing a little poem of mine as well with you, if you don't mind, to close the session. Here we are. It's called That Is Not My World. Only because you are visiting have I clothed myself in this garment of mist. You will not, but this way alone, get to perceive my presence. Hold on for that. Outside of this, you will not be able to see me. That world is not mine. That world in which I once lived, and you too, is there no more. Here I am, and you who have come visiting are not the same that I left behind. And I too am not the same as when I parted from you. Here there is no time. Here there is time nor place. This is not your world. Go back to your world. And when you arrive at the river bank where seasons end, where tides cease, then you too shall be able to come this way. You are yet a prisoner of time and location. How can I go back with you? Only when you are here will you see there is no you nor I. What exists, exists whole without recognition of difference. Difference is only the dress that is worn for the world you come from, and which I too only of late vacated. Here, this garment of mist I am granted only because I once loved too intensely, and you did not cease to seek me out when I left beyond the shore of possibility. But you will learn to relinquish this phantasmic pursuit when you and I are no longer clothed in separate bodies. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Very kind of you to be here, to have sat through this event and been a part of this event, to have contributed to it with all your various voices, diverse and rich, and so imaginative, so meaningful, so deeply moving. I really am very grateful for this to all of you. And it's been a wonderful day of poetry. And we can say that poetry thrives in us and poetry thrives outside us as well. And may you all have the power of the imagination with you as you go forward. All the best.